Welcome to Tasty Tuesday. Shannon Morris, registered dietitian, is going to talk to us today about mindful eating. Does stress really have an impact on the way that we eat?
Yes, I don't know about you, but when I'm stressed, the first thing I want to do is eat something awful for me. So if you're like me, then it's important for you to be very mindful because then it gets a little out of control. So typically people take on stress in different ways, but sometimes they overeat, they undereat, they may skip meals when they're stressed.
I hear that all the time.
Do you?
All the time.
Happens all the time, right? You're busy at work. I didn't have lunch today. I only ate dinner by the end of the day. Or if you're like me, if I skip lunch, I know I'm snacking. Lots of snacking. I have my hands in all the places that don't belong.
What are some examples of mindful eating?
Sure. So it's really easy to be mindful while you eat. I think the first thing is put away the screens, right? So put away your phone. Don't sit down in front of a TV. My biggest recommendation to families is always sit down together and eat a meal and talk to each other. It's very rare for us to do these days, but it goes a long way. Another tip is to make sure that you are paying attention to what you're eating, right? I think a lot of times when you're distracted, you're just piling food into your mouth. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention. You're being very intentional. So you're scooping the food up, you're putting it in your mouth. I know something that you always say is you chew the food, right? How many times are you supposed to chew?
Yeah, I think it's like 15 to 20 times, but I sometimes even find myself chewing food 30 times.
Wow.
Yeah. But,
Okay. I like
I'm really
it.
paying attention, but you know what? I noticed that it's not fully broken up in my mouth. So it's just, and I don't think that we spend enough time paying attention to things like that. I know that when I'm in front of a computer and I'm working, I'm just eating mindfully. I don't even know what I'm eating. Next thing I know, the plate's finished and I'm still hungry.
It happens all the
Not
time,
even
right?
realizing that I just ate a plate of food.
Yep, I mean, it happens all the time. People grab the bag of potato chips that they shouldn't probably be eating anyway, and then they're watching Netflix, and what happens? The bag of potato chips is gone. It's like poof, magic. Who knew we could be magicians? But our goal is to be very mindful, and so something I talk a lot to children and to adults about is honing in on your five senses, right? So when you're eating something, you want to say, how does it smell? So many times we eat something, and we never even got a chance to appreciate what it smelled like, right? How it smells, how it tastes. What does it sound like? Sometimes you're eating, when you're eating certain foods, it sounds different when you chew it. Pay attention to that. That will make you count those chews, right?
Right.
What does it look like? Is it appetizing? And touch. What does it feel like, right? So sometimes when you pay attention to those five things, you start to appreciate what you're putting in your mouth. It makes you mindful on purpose, and it helps you slow down when you're stressed. Another good tip when you're stressed for me is to know my safety zone. So I don't do good when I am looking for a solution right on the spot. So when I'm at work, I know what food options around me are good for me. I already know that the bakery down the street has this special dish that I know is good for me. So I always say, know your menu, circle or highlight those items that are good for you. So when you're in a bind, you don't have to think about it. Thinking while hungry never goes well.
Never works. And another great tip of mine is I'm usually grateful about everything that I put in my mouth. I stop, I slow down, especially when I'm stressed, because I know that I'm going to reach out for something that's not good for me.
Yeah.
So I will stop and take a breath and just appreciate the food that's in front of me before I eat it.
I think that's so important, and I think you can apply that to everything in life, right? We're moving so
Absolutely.
fast. Probably the reason why we're stressed, we're doing a lot, we're overwhelmed. Take the time to settle down, appreciate the food that you have in front of you. That's a perfect tip. Very simple, and we all can use it.
Great.
Yes.